He is the first coach in history to reach back-to-back Champions League finals with 2 different clubs. A precocious, temperamental, and ultra-demanding coach. Thomas Tuchel is a coach apart. At 44 years old, the German has managed several renowned clubs, accomplished several feats in the Bundesliga or in the European Cup, but he has also experienced disillusionment in his results or in his relations with his players or his management. Whether it was at Mayence, Dortmund, or PSG, he left each time angry. Some say he is a gifted tactician. Others say he is an unstable coach. But is Thomas Tuchel considered to be a great coach? Subscribe to Megafoot, the best of football in video. Thomas Tuchel was born in Krumbach, a small town in Bavaria, on August 29, 1973. From a very young age, Thomas was immersed in the world of football. His father, Rudolf, was a trainer at the local club, TSV Krumbach. He was the one who threw his first balls to him in the youth teams, while his son had 2 ambitions: to become a pro or to be a rescue helicopter pilot. Thomas finally chose the first option, and it went well until he was 18. He is spotted by the Youth Academy of Augsburg. He started in D2 with a Stuttgarter kicker. He even had a few caps with the U18 of Mannschaft, and that's all. Thomas was left out of the first team. He played 4 seasons with the SSV Ulm in the Regional Liga Süd, the 4th German division. But because of a chronic cartilage injury in his knee, he had to end his professional career at the age of 25. But for Thomas Tuchel, leaving football is not an option. He continued his studies in physiotherapy and sports medicine, and soon his former coach Rolf Rangnick called him to coach the youth teams of the VfB Stuttgart. The year was 2000, and the young Tuchel took to his first coaching role at the age of 27 with Stuttgart's U19 team, where he trained the young Sami Khedira. Tuchel continues his tour of Germany. After a spell at Augsburg, it was at Mayence that he made his mark. First with the youth team by winning the U9 championship, then with the pros with a 10th place for Mayence's return to Bundesliga. The 2011 season was a revelation. Tuchel started with 7 consecutive wins, finished 5th in the Bundesliga, a club record, and qualified Mayence for Schurl and Evenschitz for the Europa League preliminary round. But how does a team that is supposed to be playing for survival end up in the top 5 of the Bundesliga? Was it Thomas Tuchel's secret? He has simply broken the tactical habits and traditions of the Bundesliga. Usually, teams find a preferred tactical setup that they perfect as the season progresses. Tuchel explodes this rigidity and adapts his formation to that of the opponent. He plays his team in a variety of formations: 4-1-4-1, 4-2-3-1, 3-4-2-1. In fact, the opponent can hardly identify Tuchel's strategy as he sets up a formation to counter it. In training, he likes to change the contours and dimensions of the field. Sometimes he cuts off the corners of the rectangle, as if he were playing on a diamond pitch. He has his players play in circular, elongated, widened pitches, never a classic opposition like the one on Saturday. This flexibility allows him to develop the creativity of his players and to better exploit the space without being constrained by the rigidity of the rectangular field. His management also takes a close interest in the players' diet. At Mayence, he asked the team to stay at the table to take time to eat, and imposed a specific diet for meals, especially breakfast. At Dortmund, he fired the pasta supplier Tony Paci, who had been working for the club for years, on the pretext that it was too fatty, and will make Gundogan lose 4 kilos with a diet without sugar, wheat, or cereals. This is called the Tuchel diet. After 2 more difficult seasons with Mayence, Tuchel left the club and took a sabbatical to expand his tactical background. He studies the game of position and possession, watching hours of training and the master of these subjects, Pep Guardiola. On April 19, 2015, Tuchel was announced at Borussia Dortmund to replace Jurgen Klopp, who is leaving to coach Liverpool. With the Borussen, Tuchel made a thunderous first season. He won 11 games and took 78 points, but it was not enough to surpass Bayern, who took 88 points and beat the yellow and black team on penalties at the German Cup final. Tuchel consoles himself with the title of best coach of the championship. The following year, he won the German Cup, his only title with Borussia. But the situation became tense with the management. Tuchel publicly complained about the transfer policy, and the differences resurfaced when the Dortmund bus was bombed before the match against AS Monaco. He disagreed with the rescheduling of the match and lashed out at his chairman Joachim Watzke. Irreconcilable, he announced the sacking of Tuchel a few weeks later. Despite a 63% win rate, a record for a Borussia coach, these tense relations with the Borussia management show that Thomas Tuchel is a man of temper. If he has something to say, he says it. One of his Mayence players, Sami Alagui, recounts how his colleague Miroslav Karan once complained in the press about his poor playing time. The next day, Tuchel waited for Miroslav in the locker room with a sheet of paper lying on a table. "Guess what it is?" asked the coach. "I don't know. It looks like a team lineup." "No, this is a list of all the players who have played less than you and who don't complain in the press." This is how you settle a conflict in Tuchel's locker room. With such a good record at the helm of Dortmund, there is no problem finding a new club. The big boys are on the lookout. Rumored to be heading for Arsenal, Chelsea, or Munich, the coach decided to move to Paris to take over for Unai Emery, an arrival celebrated by a Champions Trophy and a joyful hazing. Tuchel's first games of the season went off without a hitch, 14 consecutive victories. PSG are rolling over the championship, but after the disillusionment against Manchester United and a 3-1 defeat at home in the return leg of the round of 16, the season ended in a state of freewheeling. The following season, the pandemic disrupted the world of football, but Tuchel did a great job. 3 national titles in the bag and a UCL final, a first for PSG as well as for him, which he lost to Bayern Munich. Things go downhill at the end of 2020. Tuchel enters a new conflict with his management. He criticizes the management of the Parisian Mercato and particularly the situation of the players left free by the club. The statement does not please either Leonardo or Nasser. The club decided to sack its coach on December 23rd, 6 months before the end of his contract. A month later, Thomas Tuchel bounced back at Chelsea after the departure of Frank Lampard. The club was struggling in the league, but the German's arrival led to a dramatic turnaround. With a 3-man defense and a more possession-based strategy, the team showed more defensive solidity and offensive creativity. The Blues were 9th after 19 games, and the results were good enough to put them back in the Big Four. But above all, they broke through the Champions League table to reach the final against Manchester City, a feat that has already put the fans in his pocket and allowed him to reach a second UCL final in 2 years. For a first victory? Answer on May 29th. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to talk about our channel around you, to like it, to share it. See you soon for a new video. Ciao!